Quick glance, like at silver. All right, let's do it.
This year because the defense will be better. The scheme was horrible last year. If they keep Aquara and draft a good linebacker, they're going to win at least one more game than last year. That's from Roy. Kind of where I'm at. If they were to keep Aquara, I would love it. If they added on the defense, if they draft Micah Parsons at 7, hang on to Aquara, and then you find that Okudah is a much better quarterback in year 2 than he was in year 1. I think you've got big time improvements in the defense, but we shall see. 248-539-9797. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Look here, Valentine's Day can be stressful. We know that. There's gifts to buy, dinners to plan. How about you treat yourself this weekend, fellas? Because FanDuel Sportsbook is letting you control the point spread when Michigan plays Wisconsin on Sunday. For every 500 fans who bet on the Wolverines, FanDuel will move the line 1 point in Michigan's favor. And best of all, you'll get paid at whatever the line is at tip-off, so there's no need to wait. You know what this is? FanDuel is basically giving away money because there's no telling how high that spread will get a guaranteed winner. Now, if you already have the Sportsbook, the FanDuel Sportsbook account, look for the Spread the Love market to place your bet. If you've been holding out, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and get in on the action. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. Must wager in designated crowdfunding market. Maximum wager $50. Payout at -110. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers keep you up to date with what's happening in the D. This week, did someone say pizza? Celebrate National Pizza Day with these local favorites. For more stories like these, head over to ChevyDetroit.com.
Highways and the freeways try to map you.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers have got your back and are ready to put you in the driver's seat with the Chevy Trax. Trax is the SUV that's made for the city. Its compact size not only makes it fun to drive, but it fits into those tight spaces bigger SUVs have to pass by. And with 8 different ways to reconfigure the interior, Chevy Trax is the small, compact SUV for all your big city adventures. Hurry into your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers and lease a 2021 Trax LT all-wheel drive for just $169 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. Leases for a 2021 Trax LT all-wheel drive for 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. For well-qualified customers with a GM lease in the household. $939 due at lease signing after all offers plus title, tax, and dock fees. No security deposit. Program subject to change without notice and certain restrictions may apply. See participating dealer for details. Offer ends March 1st, 2021.
Duncan Robinson, one of the NBA's most unlikely success stories, celebrates underdogs from basketball and beyond on his new podcast, The Long Shot. Hear from athletes and others who've proven naysayers wrong. Listen free on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your shows.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI
sponsored by AbbVie.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Pecora of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbphealth.com.
Celebrating Black History Month with Detroit sports legends.
Lou Whitaker has been called one of the best second basemen in Detroit Tigers history, and the numbers that he posted during his 19-year career, all spent with the Tigers, absolutely proves that, which is why it's baffling that Whitaker has never been elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Whitaker's number one was supposed to be retired by the Tigers last August. However, the COVID-19 pandemic forced team officials to delay that honor, which is now set to take place at some point during the upcoming 2021 season.
The Detroit Red Wings play the Nashville Predators. Pre-game tomorrow at 7:45 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Yeah, tough loss to the Red Wings last night. Gave up a goal in the last minute to lose it, which was unfortunate. Losing to Nashville, but they're playing better. For what it's worth. I know we like to say no moral victories in sports because we as fans don't want to accept that, but when you've got a team that's as bad as the Red Wings are, I think I'll take the moral victory at this point. Just keep putting together good effort after good effort after good effort, and I think the puck will eventually go in the net and stay out of the Red Wings net, and they'll start winning some games. But they're a long ways away from being competitive enough to get back into the playoff run that we became accustomed to for a quarter of a century here, not that long ago. It's unfortunate. And hey, since Mantha had been benched, Mantha has put out much better effort in a couple games since then. Had some opportunities last night. Unfortunately, did not get the goal, but he's played better as well. We'll see how they are once they get completely healthy. This team needs Tyler Bertuzzi. He's such a force on the ice. Creates space for others, and it's a tireless effort. Love Tyler Bertuzzi. 248-539-9797. We'll get to the topic I wanted to bring up earlier. It's been 15 years since this happened, and what we're looking forward to next time around. Until then, let's get to some more calls. Jim is on a cell phone. Jim, welcome to 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
All right, man.
Hey, I was listening earlier, and I decided to call in. I had a buddy from college. His dad's best friend, who's like his uncle, was on Green Bay's front office, and they were undivided. They were divided as to whether they would take Tony Mandrich, and his uncle was not a Mandrich fan, and they lost out. Part of the reasoning was because of steroids, but nobody wanted to talk about it. But then also it was the leadership thing. You look at Michigan State. There are a couple guys that were starters. They got married. Nobody invited them to the wedding. And also there was one player who had a girlfriend, and Mandrich stole her. And they kind of had animosity on the team because of that. And that was his uncle's thing. Was he's not a quality guy. And of course, Green Bay ended up drafting him. Like I think it was first, second.
No, he was the second pick overall. The Lions were fortunate because they ended up with Barry Sanders. But every team in the league. Yeah, well, lots of teams wanted Tony Mandrich because he was like the can't-miss prospect as offensive tackle.
Yeah, so you see, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the offense right now, evaluating the character of the player, whether they're going to, get someone who can step up and be a decent
So you're bringing this up because we talked about Zach Wilson earlier and how that Tom McShay had mentioned. He wasn't one of the captains for BYU this past season. They had 4 offensive captains. He was not one of them. He was part of leadership council, but he wasn't a team captain. This gets brought up this morning at ESPN, but that was news back in September when BYU was starting to get ready for the season when they named the captains and Zach Wilson wasn't a captain. I'm not that concerned about it because I know what the coaches and players have said about it when there was an article that came out a couple months ago from someone, I forget who it was, and immediately was discredited by the team. And if you watch BYU play this year, every single broadcast, it seemed, mentioned about Zach Wilson traveling hours to go and meet with a quarterback coach and it was how dedicated he was to playing football and becoming a better player. So I'm not terribly concerned. My eyebrow does get raised a little bit just because I do think it's strange that a quarterback is not named a captain of a team, particularly when you have 4 offensive captains. That does raise the eyebrow a little bit for me, but not too much. But yeah, character issues are absolutely something that should be considered when you're making an investment into a player.
Yeah, when you get a team that's like a religious-based team, whether it be Notre Dame or BYU, you know, they've got some really idiosyncrasies that, you know, like maybe went to a party and he drank a beer, and that was against their rules. Something kind of strange like that could have kept him from becoming a captain. Doesn't mean he wasn't a leader on the team, and we see what he did on the field. And I think, gosh, if he drops the Lions, I think that's a no-brainer. But still, I don't think he's gonna, even with this, you know, this news that's come out, I don't think he's gonna blast past the third or fourth.
No, he probably, and thanks for the call, Jim. He probably won't, and again, it's not really news. It's just something McShay brought up this morning on ESPN TV shows. Also, keep this in mind. Todd McShay had his latest mock draft come out this week, and the number 2 pick in the draft, he gave to he had Zach Wilson going to the New York Jets. And in his response to it as to why he had the Jets taking it, he said, look, if the Jets end up hanging on to Sam Darnold and trade out of that spot, still thinks that the second pick overall will be quarterback Zach Wilson from BYU. So, take that for what it's worth. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you know, his teammates and coaches say nice things about Zach Wilson, and you said to discredit that stuff. But, I mean, the same thing was said from the teammates of Connor Cook, coaches of Connor Cook, and to play devil's advocate here, I mean, you could find teammates and coaches to say nice things about almost any high-end player on any college football team. So, I know listen, I'm not trying to take your stance off of Zach Wilson. I know you're a big Zach Wilson fan. That's not my point of this. But I guess my point is you can always find the other side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either this guy's going to work out or he's not. Breaking news. But but the questions are character-wise and upstairs-wise. Is he a leader? You know, things like that. Because go back to his recent Dwayne Haskins. You know, obviously there's a lot of mock draft that had him with the Giants, not Daniel Jones, like 6th overall,
Right.
whatever it was, and he fell, you know?
And what we kind of find out is that the evaluation of Dwayne Haskins, which I didn't know this before the draft, but the people were saying about him, that word is leaked about after the draft, when I'm reading about it this year, was that Dwayne Haskins had maturity issues at Ohio State. Now, if I had known that was a problem with Dwayne Haskins, would I have been advocating for the Lions to try to get him? Probably not. Let them do all the vetting out of the player that you've got to do. He's not going to be there for the Lions to pick at 7, so it really doesn't matter.
Probably not.
But
But if he falls, let's say he does Dwayne Haskins fall, like, you know, like, oh, not 2.
He starts to fall like Aaron Rodgers fell.
Yeah.
Well, he's still there. I'm going to get all excited. I may have to spend the entire draft in the shower. I think he's a stud. I can't say can't miss. I kind of felt like Joe Burrow last year. I thought he was kind of can't miss. Because against that competition and those Mickey Mouse numbers he threw up at LSU was absolutely incredible. I thought he was can't miss. Zach Wilson, I am absolutely wowed by the arm talent. And yes, I do think that there is a concern because of the competition he played against, but I always go back to watching the throws that he made and where he placed the ball has nothing to do with the talent that he's against. And it's not like BYU is Alabama with their talent. So I'm just impressed with how he handles himself, how he composed himself when there was a pass rush coming in. He's athletic. He can make plays with his feet. But he's not going to be there for the Lions at 7. Cliff's on a cell phone. Cliff, welcome to 97 on the Ticket. Hey, Cliff.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I just want to point about next year.
Yes.
I feel very good about next year.
Do you?
Just due to the fact of getting rid of all the stupidity. We don't know how bad the defense is because we had a horrific, stupid person, so-called defensive specialist, as head coach.
Well, he's not a stupid person because he's technically a rocket scientist, but I understand your point is he was not a very good football coach for the Lions, that's to be sure. And I don't think he put the players in a position to succeed. I think he was trying to force square pegs into round holes when it came to this roster, and that roster is totally on the shoulders of the GM, Bob Quinn, because he's got to assemble that roster. In fact, when you look back at it, there were only 3 players last year on the Detroit Lions that were Detroit Lions before Bob Quinn took over. the long snapper, the kicker, and the quarterback. That's it. Everything else was turnover. So the entire roster was put together by Bob Quinn, and it sucked. It sucked because they didn't find the right scheme to work with it because they were so hell-bent and stubborn.
They work together. That stability is amongst the two of them.
Yes.
So like I say, I look forward to next year just because I don't figure it could be any worse than it was before.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Cliff, as far as the defense is concerned. I don't know if these guys can be repurposed or reclaimed. I don't know. I don't know if you want to bring back Jared Davis if it's necessary, but if you think that you can, you see something in Jared Davis, which is hard to miss the athleticism of Jared Davis, but he looked completely lost as a Detroit Lion playing under Matt Patricia. I don't know if they can fix that or not. I would hope that there's some kind of reclamation.
I feel like this is like Kyle Van Noy all over again. Do you know what I mean? If he goes to
somewhere else,
to Tampa or Baltimore or Pittsburgh, and where they know how to use
linebackers, yes,
or even New England. I don't. You know what I mean? Like,
well, maybe not.
Well, you don't let Belichick get his hands on him, man. Stay away from Patricia.
Yeah, but Matty Patty's there again.
I know.
I don't know.
That's why I stay away from him.
maybe not that. 248-539-9797 is the telephone number. More of your calls in Texas. We continue here on the Karsch and Anderson program on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, hockey and basketball fans, they love scoring events, but what else do they have in common? How about a chance for an easy 100 from BetMGM? Register for the King of Sportsbooks, and you can win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Lakers-Grizzlies game. And if either team hits a three, you win. Simply sign up using bonus code TICKET100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Now, maybe you have more in common with table tennis fans. No matter your sport, BetMGM is where the stakes are always raised. Enjoy innovative parlay selection features, boosted odds specials for major payouts, daily promotions, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code TICKET100 to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on either the Lakers or the Grizzlies to hit a three. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 or older. Michigan only. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. This excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Now's the time to have Hall Financial refinance your home loan. Shave years off your loan, cut down your payment, consolidate your debt. Hall Financial will help you achieve all your goals. Don't miss out on historically low rates. Go to davidhallmortgage.com.
This Radio.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Northville Lumber.
Sports Minute. The Russell Wilson fanboys and mouthpieces who are claiming Pete Carroll doesn't trust Russ. I mean, get real. Last season, Russ had a career high in pass attempts, hit a career high in touchdowns, hit a career high in interceptions. He was the MVP frontrunner through the first half of the season, and the problem was the Seahawks didn't adjust their offense in the second half, and defenses caught on. The reason it didn't work was because they kept having Russ throw deep, even when it wasn't there. They lost their playoff game and fired their offensive coordinator. Tom Brady threw for as many touchdowns as Russ did. He said the Bucs were being too aggressive at times. They were going downfield too much. Boy, if the Seahawks don't trust Russ, they have a real funny way of showing it. This is David from Mandalore.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need new wiper blades? Not sure which ones to buy? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. We'll show you options for your specific car and even install them for free. Right now, save $10 per pair on Bosch Focus wiper blades, plus earn double O-Rewards points. There's no better time to replace your wiper blades. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
T-Mobile is now the leader in 5G coverage and speed. So to celebrate, we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on each and every plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
Cool. So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
With the iPhone 12 on us, you can unleash the fastest 5G speeds in more places.
And my bestie in Boise and grandma in Miami.
Connect near and far with an iPhone for the whole family on America's largest and fastest 5G network. Switch now and save 20% in your plan versus the other guys. And that's not an introductory rate. That's the best value in wireless. That's right. Get the iPhone 12 on us and save 20% every month. All on the leader in 5G, T-Mobile.
Phone via 24 bill credits plus tax. If you cancel credit, stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us. Qualifying credit and consumer plan required. 5G network is largest and awarded fastest by Open Signal Awards based on average speeds in USA 5G user experience report January 2021. Details at T-Mobile.com.
Cold Hard Cash is here at MGM Grand Detroit, and it's better than ever. February 1st through 24th, earn entries playing all your favorite slots and table games with your M Life Rewards card. Then don't miss the cash drawings every Tuesday and Thursday in February for your chance to win up to $25,000 in Cold Hard Cash. So bundle up and head to MGM Grand Detroit for your shot at some cool winnings. Visit the M Life Rewards desk for details. Must be 21 or older. Grand times ahead.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Mentioned it. It's 15 years ago. We had the awesome event of the Super Bowl here in Detroit, and that was an awesome week. Parties every night, sponsored by various groups, and there was always something to do downtown. And I had friends of mine came up from Pittsburgh and stayed at my house. I was doing the morning show at the time, so I remember those guys came up on a Friday. And they drove early and got to my house before 10 o'clock in the morning. So I was on the air until 10 o'clock. So when I came home, opened up the door, two guys were sleeping on the floor, and there were two other guys who were there just hanging out and starting to drink beer at like 10:15.
Like college, man.
It really was like college. And I came in and I'm like, hey, guy, glad to see you guys. Haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, look, I just need Daddy needs a little time to rest here. Tired, been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. Give me a break, and I think I got like an hour, maybe a half hour nap before it just wasn't going to happen. The other friends started to come over, and we were getting ready to go downtown and have an awesome time. And that Friday, we went bar hopping all over the place. And we took the shuttle down to Detroit, and the bus that took us down there was like 100 degrees, and we're all layered up. It wasn't that cold outside, it was like in the 40s. It wasn't bad for February of that year, and just had an awesome time going all over the place. And I think by the end of the night we were all dead. I was dead tired. I think I bailed first. We were meeting up with a bunch of my other friends, and I think I was home by 1:30 or so, and I had to take my friends from Pittsburgh with me. Those guys were dead tired too because they drove all morning to get up there, and they started drinking before I did. So this was rough.
I loved that weekend, man. I had a great time as well. I was able to get into some parties as well, being part of the media. And I just had started at the radio station. But remember me and another engineer here, producer, Justin Hart, we got into the Jenna Jameson party.
Oh, you went to that?
Yeah, I think it was Vivid, was it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It was a Vivid party, yeah.
And that was fun. That was cool. Then we also, the next night, I forgot, it was Rieger, me, and a couple other people went to, I forget what the party, who was sponsoring the party, because they're all sponsored, of course. It wasn't Maxim, but I remember Snoop was performing, and there was like, Usher came through, and we're like, oh, Usher, like, it was a great time. Detroit was hot, hyped, and we were all, it was a really good time.
The weather cooperated all week long until Saturday. And Saturday, the Red Wings were playing Colorado, and it was like a 3 o'clock start. And I remember going down to the Hockeytown Cafe with my friends, and Hockeytown Cafe was packed to the gills with 98% Steeler fans, maybe even higher than that. We did see a couple of Seahawk jerseys at the time. It was so awesome. All 3 or 4 levels of Hockeytown jam-packed with people, and then the snow started to fall. And I had to go to a party that night, so I left my buddies who were there. I'm like, hey, you guys, here's my number, my address, you know how to get back to the house, whatever, no problem. So I left to go home, change, and I was going to a Taste of the NFL party out in Novi at the show place or whatever. So I grabbed a couple of my lady friends, and we went over there. And that's right. You're damn right. And it was nuts how much snow was falling. It felt like we got like 6 or 8 inches of snow, and there was no valet service. And I pull out right to the front, like, okay, ladies, go ahead and get out. They're like, no, we're going to walk with you. I'm like, look at the snow, get out. No, we'll walk with you. Fair enough. So I had to park forever away. Long story short, it was an awesome night. By the time I came home, my other friends called me. I picked them up in Royal Oak. They were at some bar, and the guy dropped a whole full glass of beer. The bouncer looks at me. I go, look, I got it. We're out of here. We can get out of there. But it was a great time. 15 years ago. We had the All-Star game in baseball. Was the year prior to that. It was the summer of 05, I believe. We had the All-Star game, and then we had the Super Bowl in 06. And we haven't had anything since. Now that we've got Little Caesars Arena is constructed and ready to go here, are we waiting for an NBA All-Star game, an NHL All-Star game? You want another Super Bowl? The rotation for Major League Baseball All-Star game, they're going to be 20 years before that comes back to Detroit, but it was awesome to hear. Which do you want most? Would you rather have another Super Bowl here? Or would you like to try to get one of the other All-Star games, the NHL All-Star game or the NBA All-Star game?
I'm going to get greedy as hell, and I told you this before the show. I want the NHL and NBA All-Star game the same year. Why not? I don't think it's ever been done before. I didn't do the research on it, but I don't think it's ever. I can't remember
think it has,
it's been done before. You have the arena right there downtown. They obviously both play there. The NHL All-Star weekend is always on a different one than the NBA. It's very similar times though, because hockey and basketball run the same year or same time of year. Why not? Just usher out the NBA crowd or the NHL crowd, and then bring in the NBA crowd. I think it's great. It's only fitting that new arena gets one soon. I'm pretty sure NHL was, I don't necessarily promise one, but there was definitely talks about it. Same with the NBA. When things get back to normal, I'd love to see the same year. Downtown Detroit would be hopping for consecutive weekends. I don't know if it's exactly consecutive weekends, but very close to each other. That'd be fantastic. And by the way, people don't know this, until it comes to your city. When the All-Star games come here, and the leagues come here, they do stuff for the community all week long, and it's great. Charitable stuff, donations, all that stuff, awareness, and so that'd be awesome to see it in the same year.
I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, the NBA All-Star game has never been in Detroit, or in Auburn. Was it at the Palace?
It's never at the Palace. I doubt it was.
I don't know if it was at Cobo back in the day, or I don't remember that. The NHL All-Star game was at Joe Louis Arena in 1980. To think that we haven't had an All-Star game since then is crazy.
That's criminal.
For Hockeytown and all the Stanley Cups that they won in the late 90s and 2000s and all that.
Canada's right there, man.
Yeah, it seems like now that they have a new arena, I think it's inevitable. Your idea is ambitious.
Yes, it is.
And I like it.
Why not?
I like it. I'm more of a hockey fan than I am an NBA fan, but I think that if you had to pick one, I think I'd rather have the NBA All-Star game here, because I think that it gives there's much more coverage of an NBA All-Star game than there is the NHL All-Star game because of the popularity of the sports. But I would love to see that as well. That would be kind of cool. And to have them both at the same year, would be crazy. Crazy. There are plenty of sports events. We talk about the draft all the time. How great it would be to have an NFL draft in Detroit. And absolutely, it could be done. And that whole area downtown, between Ford Field and all the way over to Little Caesars Arena and America Park and Woodward Corridor there, everything. The way we cordon things off for the block party for open day with baseball, it could be just this great atmosphere for NFL draft. I would love to see that.
Oh, that's a great one.
We've seen Final Fours here. We've seen Frozen Fours here. We've seen it all here. I would love for Ford Field to be considered for a college football championship game, college football playoff game. I think that would be awesome if that were down the road. But yeah, I'm with you. I would love to see both in the same. Get greedy. Why the hell not? NHL, NBA All-Star Game, same year in Detroit at Little Caesars.
Doesn't Doug want the Little Caesars Arena in the like the Big Ten rotation?
Yes.
Or the
for the tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Doug loves it in Indianapolis. He loves it. It's there. But yeah, we'd all love to see it here in Detroit. And as things get more built up and more hotels are constructed, it could make a lot more sense. But 248-539-9797, just throwing it out there about the event you'd like to see come here, because it's been 15 years since the Super Bowl was here. That's not the last big event we had here, but that's a pretty big event. It's the biggest event. Also, it's Valentine's Day on Sunday, and we have someone here, a part of the show, that has a bit of a dilemma, and it's not going away anytime soon, this dilemma that he has. And we're going to bring him into the studio here at 105 and discuss it.
Real quick, though, I just looked it up because a texter told me about this. I confirmed it. 1979 Silverdome NBA All-Star Game, the year before the NHL All-Star Game.
Okay, so way back then, yeah.
Back-to-back years, not the same year, but pretty close.
We had the NBA draft here. I was there for that. And Chris Webber went first overall. I was at that draft. But it's been a long time. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's over 40 years. Yes. I can do that.
Good job.
Thank you. 248-539-9797. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Hey, it's Heather Park. Online sports betting is now live in Michigan, and you've got to check out my friends at BetRivers Sportsbook. With the Australian Open in full swing, BetRivers has a huge variety of tennis betting options throughout the tournament. You can also check out other great promotions like NHL Profit Boost Tuesdays. Just go to BetRivers.com for terms and conditions and create your account today. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
Great American race. You don't get a name like that by chance. That's something you earn. Because this isn't just another race. It's a run of history. Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper pet kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper pet kit, because shed happens.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
The Motor City Pool and Spa Show is going on now through President's Day at Motor City Hot Tubs in Waterford. More tubs and swim spas than anyone in Michigan. Huge discounts and 0% financing now through President's Day. Get to Motor City Hot Tubs on Highland Road in Waterford today.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. TheRadio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike C Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
After a 16-point loss to the Indiana Pacers last night, the Pistons are back in action tonight. They're in Boston for a game against the Celtics. Our coverage of that game is here on The Ticket starting at 7. After a 16-point loss to the Indiana Pacers last night, the Pistons are back in action tonight as they square off against the Celtics in Boston. Our coverage begins at 7:35. A
According to the latest fan voting for next month's NBA All-Star Game in Atlanta, the Pistons' Jeremy Grant is running 10th among all Eastern Conference forwards and centers. Even though it will, at this point, take the vote of the coaches to get him into the game, the fact that Grant is even in an all-star conversation is good news to head coach Dwayne Casey.
It's one of those things where you're happy for a young man like